Hello traders and welcome to the real-time supply and demand video. In this video we're going to talk about the benefits and the application of using the real-time supply and demand tool with trading the NQ. Let's talk about the market vitals here real quick. First of all, the market name is the E-mini NASDAQ 100. The ticker symbol is NQ. The roll cycle is quarterly, but if you'd like some more information on the roll cycle, then go ahead and please click on the link located on this page. The tick value is $5 per tick. The point value is $20 per point. The cash open is at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The cash closes at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and the night session is which is also tradable, is between 6 p.m. to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The important recurring events to note that can move this market is the non-farm payrolls, the ISM manufacturing and non-manufacturing PMI, PPI, CPI, and core CPI, retail and core retail sales, core durable goods orders, consumer confidence, preliminary or final GDP numbers. Before we go any further, I must remind you that trading does carry significant risk, and all information in this video is provided for educational purposes only and is not an offer or recommendation to trade future stocks, options, or Forex. Some of the key features of the real-time supply and demand tool is that it marks zones or areas of extreme supply or demand automatically. And you have the ability to customize it to any chart type, any time frame, or any market, including futures, ETFs, stocks, and Forex. So here's the real-time supply and demand tool just to give you an overview on the NQ here on a 15-minute time frame. You'll have these zones here, these light red zones, these coral zones, and these are your supply zones all through here. These red zones are also supply zones. And what the light coral ones are telling you is that the supply zone was created, price moved away from it, and came back and retouched it, further strengthening this as a nice supply zone. Same thing here, supply zone was created, price moved away, came back to it, and retested this zone, giving you some nice trades. The green zones down here on the bottom, you have your light green zones. These are your demand zones here. And these dark green are also your demand zones. These demand zones, these dark green ones, have been created but have not been retested yet or retouched. These light green ones have been created and price moved away and out of the zone and came back and retested it before moving off. Same thing here, it was created here, price moved out, came back, retested it, and then moved off here. You have a convenient button up here at the top as you're doing your analysis. If you want to go ahead and hide the supply and demand zones, you can go ahead and do that, and it tells you that it is being calculated on this current chart period of 15 minutes. I'll show you how to change that here in the tool settings. So how can this indicator help you with your trading? Well, the real-time supply and demand tool calculates imbalances from volume, blocks of volume, and order flow activity. It is not simply just based on price. It is taking volume into account. This helps you measure and visually identify a key point within the market. Now, here are some uses that you can use the supply and demand tool with. Trade setups and triggers. This is one of the favorite setups that we have, is when the supply zone is created and then moves away, then comes back shortly thereafter and retests it. This is a great trade strategy just by itself to go ahead and look for those retests here once the supply zone is created. These make up for some powerful trades. You can see another supply zone being created. Price moves away, comes right back to it, and gives you a great trade location to go ahead and take advantage of. Again, this is even better. When you have the zone created down here, price moves away within just a few bars, retests it, and then blasts off here. Same thing here. Then a few bars, retests, and then moves off here pretty aggressively. Over and over again, you can use this as a trade setup and trigger just by itself. Support and resistance. So as you can see here, acts as really good, actually after the zone is created, really good demand zones here, here, and here. After the zone is created, get a nice support area here, a resistance area there. So you can simply use it as support and resistance. Risk to reward analysis. So you can see right away once that supply zone is created, and let's say you went ahead and took this short, you know exactly where to go ahead and place your stop. Let's say you took this long down here, you know exactly where to go ahead and place your stop. There's no guessing here. You can also load on here, and I'll show you this in the tool settings to see how high these boxes, how wide these boxes are in terms of ticks, so you know exactly how much you're risking. Sentiment. Right away that you can tell from just looking at this market that was pretty bearish initially, and then now we actually starting to see some pretty bullish moves here in the market. So very simply, you can see all these red zones. If there's a lot of red zones on your market, that is a very bearish market. There's a lot of green zones, there's a lot of bullish. Sometimes you can have a lot of red and green zones, indicating that it is a range-bound market. So very quickly you can identify sentiment. Now let's go ahead and transition here into the chart, and we'll show you how to set this up. So first of all, you want to go ahead and right click and go into indicators, and you can put this again on any time frame that you like. Go ahead and go down to the NCAT tools, and you're going to be looking for the RSD tool here. That's real-time supply and demand. Go ahead and load that in. Next thing you want to go ahead and do is just go ahead and hit OK, and it'll go ahead and load on your chart right away. You'll notice a button up here. If you click this, it'll go ahead and hide the zones, or you can go ahead and show the zones. So if you have a lot of chart analysis, it'd be very convenient to see the zones and then hide them, and then bring them back when you need them. Let's go and talk about the settings here. Under the settings here, you have extend zone minutes. So let me go ahead and show you exactly what that means. Go ahead and move this chart over. This can be very useful. Now, let's say you want to go ahead and extend the zones by 240 minutes or a 4-hour time frame. Go ahead and do that. Click on extend zone. What that's going to do is push these zones out a little bit, so it gives you a little bit more room to work with, and you can see projected areas here a little bit cleaner. No weak zone, so if you have this unchecked, you will see some weak zones here. But if you don't have these, you won't see. If you have this checked, then you won't see any weak zones. I recommend leaving that checked. Recolor, retouch. So when the price moves away, and if it retouches it, if you want these zones to go ahead and go to a light green or light red, you can go ahead and make sure that is checked. I would go ahead and leave that checked here. If you don't like that, if you want them all just to be green and red, you can go ahead and take that off. Recolor, weak retouch. So for the weak zones, if they get retouched, they'll change colors as well. Chart time frame type, the chart period. It sets a chart period, so every time you go to 15 or 5 minutes, it's going to reflect that time frame. So it will be a 5-minute supply and demand zones if you go to a 5-minute chart. But a really neat feature here, let's say you want to look at 60-minute supply and demand zones. So what this is going to go ahead and do now is plot these zones from a 60-minute time frame. So you don't have to have two charts and then go back and forth. You can have one single chart and see exactly what's going on in the 60-minute time frame in terms of supply and demand, and then plot that on a 15-minute. Now, if I change this to a 5-minute, a 3-minute, a 15 or 30-minute, these will always be 60-minute zones, and you'll see that reflected right here. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and change with the chart period, go ahead and put it back to chart period here. Hit apply, and now every time you change your chart period to 5, 30, 60, it's going to reflect that time period's zone. So they'll always change every time you change the time period. Input series and setup and visual, go ahead and leave all of these the same. Colors are just cosmetic. If you want to go ahead and change the colors of these demand retouch, the demand strong, any of these zones here, you can go ahead and do that here. Here's an important feature, the far edge price, the zone height, and the main edge price. So right now you're just seeing the main edge price, so this is telling you what the price is right here at the top of the box. This will tell you the price right here at the bottom of the box. Now if you want to know exactly for risk reward reasons, for instance, how big these boxes are, you'll see right away. This one's 47 ticks, this one's 132 ticks wide, 59 ticks wide, 50 ticks high, 52 ticks, 156 ticks for these boxes here. So right away you can tell how much tick-wise that you're going to have to risk if you take a trade based off these zones. Very useful. You can have all the zones here, or all the prices, so you'll see the top of the box price and the bottom of the box price. Same thing for all the zones for supply or demand. Email address, so if you want an email every time a zone is created, go ahead and make sure you have to put in your email here. You have to put your email here, and you have to put your email here for supply zone and demand zone emails. So you have to fill all three of these if you want an email for any of these zones. Put your password in, go ahead and set that up accordingly here. The alert, if you want an audible alert every time a supply zone or demand zone is created, you go ahead and just click on this box and pick whichever WAV file that you like. Once you're done, go ahead and hit OK, and you're all set up and ready to go. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful, and happy trading. If you want to learn more trade setups and strategies to trade the NASDAQ, then go ahead and click the button below this video.